When Tammy Miser got a phone call late one evening in 2003, she worried it would be about her brother, Sean Boone, who worked at an automotive parts factory.
And we usually didn't answer the phone that late, but we knew when it kept ringing that there was something wrong, so we answered it, and there had been an accident there before, so I knew. I knew if they were calling me, it was my brother.
Sean Boone was a mechanic at the Hayes Lemmers plant in Huntington, Indiana.
I got you going around the corner, man.
The company produced aluminum car wheels. The process of finishing the wheels left behind aluminum scraps, which were chopped into small pieces and sent to a furnace to be melted and reused. Chopping, drying, and blowing the dry chips through the transfer piping created highly combustible aluminum dust, which flowed through ducting to a steel drop box outside the building, where large particles were trapped. The air then entered a dust collector, which removed finer aluminum particles. Over time, aluminum dust accumulated inside ducts. In addition, there were leaks in the piping used to transfer aluminum chips, which caused dust to build up on surfaces throughout the furnace area. Aluminum dust landed on beams, ledges, and equipment. In some places, the dust was several inches deep. On the night of October 29th, about 10 minutes after workers started the aluminum chip melting process, aluminum dust inside the dust collector was suddenly ignited, perhaps by a metal ember or impact spark, resulting in a large explosion. The blast propagated back through the duct into the steel drop box, blowing it apart. The fireball and pressure wave continued back through the duct system into the building, gaining intensity as the accumulated aluminum dust ignited. The violent disturbance shook loose dust that had built up on external surfaces. At about 8:30 p.m., plant mechanic Sean Boone was one of several workers in the area of the furnace. Without warning, a fireball erupted from the furnace, engulfing the area and igniting airborne dust in a second, larger explosion. The explosion blew a 50-foot wide hole through the roof of the building. Co-workers found Sean Boone lying on the floor near the furnace, gravely injured. He was rushed to the hospital and put on life support.
And they told us that his internal organs were burnt, and they could take his arms, and they could take his legs, but he probably wouldn't make it, and it would just prolong it, so we went ahead and took him off.
Sean Boone was one of 14 dust explosion fatalities in 2003 alone. Launching a comprehensive investigation into the hazard, the CSB held 2 public meetings, convening panels of experts and listening to extensive public comment.
First, combustible dust is a real serious problem in all of general industry.
The CSB report concluded that good engineering and safety practices to prevent dust explosions have existed for decades, but there is no comprehensive federal standard requiring adherence to those practices. And many companies are not taking effective actions to control dust hazards. As a result, the board recommended increased regulation of dust hazards. The final report was approved at a public meeting in Washington in November 2006.
And the report and recommendations are adopted.
We found in our study that the issue of combustible dust explosions is not focused on one particular industry. It happens right across all industries, and industries where you perhaps wouldn't expect there to be an explosion.
Industries at risk include food production, metal processing, wood products, chemical manufacturing, rubber and plastics, and coal-fired power plants.